All right, welcome everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, thank you. Good afternoon. I think we thought of just about every detail today except for ordering good weather. So I appreciate your patience today and your flexibility to be inside today. Just to let you know today's program, we have a couple of speakers who are going to speak today about the new library and about how exciting of a day this is and what this means for the town of Irondequoit. And then afterwards, we'll invite everybody outside for the official groundbreaking. Hopefully the weather clears when we go out there and it's not too wet. So we'll do that as soon as we're finished with the speaking, which I promise won't take too long. But I do want to welcome you all to what's truly a historic moment and day in the history of the town of Irondequoit. I want to acknowledge and thank the hardworking, dedicated public servants who are here today, without whose support today in this groundbreaking would not be possible. The Irondequoit Town Council members, John Perticone, Dave Seeley, Lori Barnum, and Irina Skrobach are all here. We give them a round of applause. The members of the Irondequoit Library Board, Stephanie Squiccerini, the president, David Heffer, Elaine Cole, Jack Harima, Mary Ellen Jones, Fran Mannion, Joe Janier, and Woldemir Plelashenko. A round of applause for them as well. And we'll say a few words in a little bit about all the great work they've done that went into today. Our library director, Terry Buford, is with us as well, leading the library. Terry Dalton and the Friends of the Library, who've done just a tremendous amount of work over the last several years working on behalf of the town of Irondequoit and building this library. A big thank you to the Friends of the Library. Our county legislators, Joe Morelli Jr. and Joe Carbone are with us today. Thank you for being here. Mr. Molinari from the County Clerk, Cheryl Dinolfo's office is here. Thank you for being here as well. New York State Senator and a fellow Irondequoitian, Ted O'Brien, is here today. Welcome, Senator. And not just our assemblyman, but the majority leader of the New York State Assembly, Irondequoit's own, and my dear friend, Joe Morelli is here. Irondequoit is a better place because of their service, and I really do appreciate them being here today. I also want to acknowledge our former town supervisor, Mary Joyce Storizio, and council member Deborah Esley for being here today as well. Thank you for being here. Without their commitment and support of the new library, I'd say their commitment and support of the new library helped pave the way for this groundbreaking today, and we do owe them our thanks and appreciation. Today would also not be possible if it weren't for the hardworking men and women at Town Hall. Commissioner Patrick Meredith and his staff in the DPW department have been hard at work preparing for the changing face of the Town Hall campus, much of which you've seen outside when you came in today. Our library director, Terry Buford, ensuring that our library meets the needs and the goals that we've laid out. And Director Nick Weatherby and Sarah Culp for their participation and leadership in the planning process. I also want to thank the construction team and the architectural team who John Perticone will introduce and speak about in just a few minutes. As our motto, A Town for a Lifetime, suggests, Irondequoit truly is an extraordinary place to call home. We're a community of vibrant, welcoming neighborhoods, home to the highest quality schools in the county, a land of amazing natural beauty and waterways, and a place where generations of friends and family live out their lives together. And I couldn't think of a better symbol to capture that sentiment than a new, centralized, state-of-the-art library. It's a place where our children, families, and generations of people in a community space connect and learn from one another. With the proliferation of technology, such as e-readers, iPads, and the like, some have questioned the wisdom of investing in a new library. And to that question, I offer the sentiments of author John Bing, who said about libraries, to ask why we need libraries at all, when there is so much information available elsewhere, is about as sensible as asking if road maps are necessary now that there are so very many roads. New technology does not mean libraries are obsolete. It means we need to change the way we view and use them. Throughout American history, libraries have served as a resource for the public, both for individual, personal benefit, and for the greater public good. The library will allow Irondequoit to maintain the historic benefits to the community while significantly enhancing the benefits for everyone. Our new library, the Library of the Future, is about much more than just a place to store and display books. It's a place where neighbors come together, sharing learning experiences and building a community. In preparing to build this new library, I did outline a few goals: that the project be on time and on budget, that it have minimal interference with the day-to-day operations of town government, that it preserve the functionality of the town hall campus, and that we build the best state-of-the-art library in our region. And today I want to provide you an update on how we're meeting those goals. I'm pleased to announce that we are indeed on time and should expect a grand opening and a ribbon cutting for our new library by the fall of 2015. With careful planning and attention to detail, we are on budget. And we will continue to ensure that Town Hall will be accessible and open for business during construction. I'm also happy to announce that the 4th of July Festival, including our popular beer garden, which is always a conversation, the Arts and Crafts Festival, and much more, which I know is very important to everyone. Those activities are going to continue right here on the Town Hall campus, as will our now enormously popular and successful Farmers Market. We've also taken a number of steps to ensure the character of the Town Hall campus is reserved. The Veterans Memorial, which has been a focal point of pride and reverence, will be relocated to a new flagpole on the front lawn of the Town Hall and will be rededicated later this year on Veterans Day. The horseshoe pits are being relocated so that they can continue to be enjoyed by all residents, and we're improving both the pedestrian and vehicle access to the Town Hall campus by making Columbus Way West, which is this side of the building, into a two-way street, and taking Columbus Way East, where we'll be building the new library, and turning it into a pedestrian walkway, enhancing our park-like setting and sidewalk access from Titus Avenue. The new traffic pattern will also allow for a drive-through book return, which has been the request of many, many library patrons over the years. And it is true, because of the size of this project, we will be losing several trees. But in the spirit of conservation and tradition, the trees will not be lost in vain. Irondequoit High School teacher Mr. Drams and his students will be repurposing the wood from many of those trees into benches and other amenities that can be located right back here at the library. And I'm glad that they could be with us here today, and I'd like to recognize them for joining us. And I'm also happy to announce that the Seneca Park Zoo Director, Larry Sorrell, who is also here with us today, will be receiving our donation of several trees, which will be used to enhance the living spaces of our four-legged friends and neighbors at the zoo. And before you leave here today, I do want to point your attention to the markers that are outside on the ground, which outline the footprint of our new space. And I invite you to walk around, stand in the space, and imagine how different it will be in just 16 short months. You will be standing in a brand new building with children and teen libraries, community meeting rooms, group and quiet study areas, outdoor courtyards, along with many, many, many other details that you'll hear about in the weeks to come. And in closing, there has been in the past a sense that Irondequoit is a town defined in many ways by controversy rather than a cooperative spirit. And far too often, it's that perception of division that has held us back as a community. Today, we've turned that image on its head. We are proving that we are capable of big things. We are capable of delivering real, first-class services to our residents, and that Irondequoit's best days truly are ahead. With the input and collaboration of the entire community, our new Irondequoit Library is a symbol of what we can do and who we are. One community, united in a town for a lifetime. So thank you very much. And I want to, I'm going to invite a few special guests up here to say a few words. The first person I'm going to invite up is Stephanie Squicciarini. She is the president of the Irondequoit Library Board of Trustees, who has really put much of her life over the last several years into this project. Stephanie?
Thank you, Supervisor Bello, and thanks to all of you for coming out this afternoon to celebrate. After all we've been through to get to this point, a little rain will not dampen the spirit of this day. 1 year ago today, residents took their first steps in a show of resounding support for the proposal to build a new centralized library. And while the path was not without detours, we made our way here together, and we will together take all the next steps in seeing our new library become a reality. The process to get here actually started many, many years ago with several library boards trying to change the path our library services were taking, grappling with difficult decisions with each proposal and study conducted. Each of those attempts brought us all one step closer to today, and while also bringing renewed commitment to making our town's library services more efficient and more robust. We would not be here today without the work of those past library boards and the efforts they made in the past 15-plus years, and they also deserve our thanks today. Those boards included Sophie Ferenc, Miriam Gans, Peter Kelderhouse Sr., Sue McGee, Mirko Pilashenko, current Town Councilwoman Irina Skroback, and Lynn Ann Weiner. The current library board continues these efforts with the common threads running through all of us and each decision being made, the passion for and commitment for our library. We owe our deep gratitude to the Friends of the Irondequoit Library who have worked tirelessly on the library's behalf. In addition to holding fundraisers to help fund programs that are not included in the library's operating budget, our friends became the face of the library at community events throughout the year, making sure that the library was front and center and seen as a vital service to our town. Their advocacy efforts and support for the proposal played a huge role in each step leading us here today. The work that the current library board did and continues to do is immense and became more than a full-time job. I think I can say on behalf of all of us, it was and is all very much worth it. I am lucky and proud to be working with such dedicated and driven group of people who include Elaine Cole, Joe Janier, David Heffer, Jack Harima, Mary Ellen Jones, and Fran Mannion. Not with us here today is Dr. Carol Mamano, who lost her battle with cancer last year. But Carol is and always will be a part of our library and the legacy of this process. And her brother Ron is here today. We also owe a debt of gratitude to past town supervisor Mary Joyce DeRizio for her commitment to this project and for the strength and courage to finally bring a plan before voters. She continues her commitment to the project by becoming a part of the Irondequoit Public Library's Foundation's Capital Campaign, which will be launching very soon. The campaign will continue the efforts to make this library that we as a community together build. The current town board continues to be tremendously supportive of the library and has assembled an amazingly talented design team that has been working closely with the library and town staffs to develop a solid plan for our new library. Supervisor Bello has worked very hard to ensure that the process stays on track and on budget. We are thankful for his leadership and commitment to bringing the best possible library to our town. Also owed a tremendous debt of gratitude is Councilman John Perdicone. John has worked side by side with the library board as our town board liaison for the past several years, attending multiple meetings each week, oftentimes multiple meetings each day, and continuing to make the library his full-time job throughout the building process. We are all fortunate to have his knowledge and expertise, not to mention his time and staunch commitment to the library and our town. The staffs at each current branch have been working hard to ensure the right balance between style, function, and service. They visited many libraries throughout the county, gathered feedback, and captured best practices to incorporate into our new library to ensure the best ways to provide service, be more efficient, and create a lifelong library experience for everyone in our town. That process, combined with the feedback from residents earlier this year and emails sent in, are all being taken into consideration to help us create our new state-of-the-art library. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to the residents of Irondequoit. The process was long and at times quite hard and challenging. It was a process that could have torn us apart, but instead it served to make us stronger. Thank you for your patience, support for, and belief in the library, and for coming together to help our library become what Irondequoit needs, wants, and deserves. While not everyone agreed that this was the right direction for the library, what we all share is a connection to it. That connection will continue to drive this project forward, and it is the library board's hope that on opening day, everybody will be proud of their new library. Some said we suffered from library envy. I would like to think that when opening day comes, there will be some library envy coming in our direction. Thank you.
The next speaker I'd like to welcome up to the podium hardly needs an introduction to Irondequoit at all. It's our town councilman and deputy town supervisor, John Perticone. John, I will say just a couple words about John real quick, though. I'm sorry. John, John's background, experience, and expertise in building a new library has been invaluable to this enterprise. He has been a constant through the transition between administrations. He has been here at Town Hall working diligently every step of the way to make sure that this was a smooth transition and that we continue to be on time and progressing forward on the library. He has put his heart and soul into this project over the last number of years and has really been, as a town council member, a full-time member of the staff here, really has to make this happen. So, John, thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you, Stephanie and Adam, real quick. You know, they needed a representative, and they needed once in a while someone to take the low road, and they told me I'd be the guy to do that. So, and I didn't. I made sure I kept my promise. But anyway, I really want to thank everyone for being here. It really shows all the support for our new library. I'm going to be giving a little overview of the project as it pertains to the construction. But before I do that, I'd like to acknowledge the very strong team that has been assembled to make our library a reality. We have an extremely aggressive schedule in front of us, but I can assure you that we are not sacrificing any quality whatsoever. I mean, we're at a point now where prints, if they're a day old, they're really old, okay? Things are moving fast, but the team that we have assembled here is really doing a great job. You know, I knew that this team that we put together was a great team, but I did not realize how good it was until everyone got together and started the process of building our library. I would like to start with our construction manager, David Christa, and John Radici, who is overseeing the project and working extremely hard to make sure we do stay on schedule and we are on budget. And I want to acknowledge Jill here as well. She's really keeping everybody in line in that trailer on Wednesdays to make sure we got everything we need. And our design team members, Barkstrom and LaCroix Architects, Dick LaCroix, Mike Trapanowski, Pastoral Associates, of course, Gary and Mark Pastoral, led by Peter Weiner, Labella Engineering, Mike Shaffron and Andrew Kosa, doing our site and civil design, Jensen, BRV Engineering, Don Jensen, EC4B, Eric Strassner, Vargas Associates, Fina Santiago and Brenna Thering, Boswick Design, Rick Odermeyer, and I have to mention, and I really have to mention, and Adam did it as well, our Commissioner, Pat Meredith, our Director, Terry Bruford, as well as, of course, our Supervisor, Adam Bello, and our town staff, Sarah Culp and Nick Weatherby. And I know that each and every one of these people I have mentioned will tell you that there are a lot of other individuals working behind the scenes within their own companies and department, doing quite a bit of work for our library. So as you can see on the easels we have right now, the exterior right now is just about nailed down. The interior layout of the building will be finalized pretty soon in the next coming weeks. This design team kept their promise by having some packages out by the end of April, and they will be that will be the foundation package, the site and civil packages, and the coming weeks will be the structural steel package. The remainder of all the rest of the package will be no later than July. So you can see this process is moving forward. We're going to get this thing built, and we're going to get it on time and on budget. But, you know, right now I'm really smiling because of what's going on here today. But I'm going to have a bigger smile on my face when I see some concrete trucks out there, steel being erected, and our site full of tradespeople out there building our library. So in closing, I will see everyone here next year, same time, same place for our ribbon cutting ceremony. And at the same time, we all go inside to our library that we all enjoy for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker today is from the Friends of the Library, who, as I said before, has just done an extraordinary amount of work helping to promote the new library and usher it through the process last year and the votes that we had, and have been working on fundraising for a number of years. And I'd like to welcome up Terry Dalton. I'll hold it.
Oh, you're the best.
Look at that, I'll hold it.
Good afternoon. I have to mention that I am a stand-in, so everybody had typed speeches, and here's mine. So here we go. As you may or may not know, the Friends, first of all, advocate for the library, and second of all, is fundraising. So we've had fundraisers in the past, but this year we decided to do something a little bit different, and we are the Friends Fun Fest and Trunk Sale, which is coming May 3rd. We have been wonderfully supported by the town staff. This is a first endeavor for us, so I have to tell you that the cooperation and the support from every department in this town has been wonderful. It's been just made our road seamless and smooth. We also want to thank them for completing the road work, as that's part of our route, but I think I heard that they're actually afraid of the Friends, so they decided, I think we better get it done, yeah. So, you know, we chose the Town Hall campus because we knew that was going to be our final home. This has been a long road for everybody, including the Friends. But I have to, on a personal note, I have to tell you, I grew up in Irondequoit, and I moved away for about 35 years. And about 7 years ago, we bought a house back here in East Irondequoit. So for me, it was like coming home. So I'm proud to be part of this organization.
We're glad you moved back. Thank you, Terry. Our next speaker has been doing just extraordinary amount of work on behalf of the town of Irondequoit in the New York State Senate, and that's our good friend and also from Irondequoit, our Senator Ted O'Brien.
Well, this truly is a great day for Irondequoit, and there has been, as Terry mentioned, there's been some detours, some difficulty getting here. It's been a long road coming. It's been several different administrations, and thank you so much, Supervisor DeRizio, for being here as well, and joining Supervisor Bello on really what's a very, very important project. And it has been tough getting here. We've had overwhelming votes, followed by overwhelming votes, and but the community stuck together, and one of the reasons really we have a wonderful library board, and I'm listing the names as they were being acknowledged at the beginning. What a terrific group of people who really had that stick-to-itiveness to get this done. And why is it so important for our community to have this library? Well, I can ask my fifth grader over at Laurelton Pardee School who loves books. You just put books in that building and she's going to be quite content. But as Terry Buford will tell you, there's so much more now to a library as part of being the fabric of a community. If you need job application, you don't have access to a computer, librarians are being asked to do all this kind of thing. And having a state-of-the-art library will advance our community in all kinds of ways. They're community centers, people where we can come and gather and share the camaraderie that comes from being in a common place that we love being in. And that's what this library is going to mean to this community. I'm just very grateful to the supervisor for extending me an invitation to be with you all today and celebrate what really is going to be a momentous day in Irondequoit's history. Thank you, Adam.
And our final speaker is really somebody else who really needs very little introduction, particularly here in Irondequoit. He is a leader, not just in Irondequoit and in Rochester, but really in the entire state of New York, where very little, I'd say, good things happen that he hasn't influenced or helped along the way, particularly here in Irondequoit. He's my good friend and colleague, the New York State Majority Leader from the State Assembly, Joe Morelli.
Good morning. First of all, people probably know of my long association with Adam Bello, and I can't tell you how proud I am of the incredible work that he's doing, his enthusiasm, his energy, his passion for this job. So could we give him a round of applause, Adam Bello? And this is indeed an exciting day in Irondequoit. Terry, thank you for your comments, and I'll mention John, who's just done a great job as a longtime friend. And if you really want something done, bring somebody from Local 13 who's a builder to get stuff done, and John has done that. And to Stephanie and the library board for all of their work, which seems like it's been for a long time, but some things are well worth waiting for, and this is one of them. You know, it occurs to me that no groundbreaking ceremony for a library in the United States should take place without a reference to Thomas Jefferson, whose personal collection of books really gave birth to the U.S. Library of Congress. Am I right, Stephanie? I got to look to the professionals here. But in a letter to John Waish, Jefferson wrote, "I have often thought that nothing would do more extensive good at small expense than the establishment of a small circulating library in every county to consist of a few well-chosen books to be lent to the people of the country under regulations as would secure their safe return in due time." I always had problems with that due time thing, but I get the point. Public libraries have been an integral part of the fabric of our country since its founding at the beginning of the Republic. Free public libraries were created with particular outcomes in mind: a place for people of all social and economic backgrounds to access a body of literature and knowledge that heretofore had been reserved for the wealthiest citizens in our society, a place where people would come together to socialize and become better informed and educated and better citizens. In many ways, those objectives hold true today as much as they did at the beginning of the Republic. Yet while the mission of libraries remains the same, public libraries have not stayed the same. They have evolved into new, dynamic places, and today we celebrate that evolution with the groundbreaking of the new Irondequoit Public Library. Our world has changed pretty dramatically in the last 30 years. We have witnessed and experienced technological revolution that has forever changed the way we receive and distribute information. 21st century libraries are both the product of these changes and a reminder of the importance libraries continue to play within communities such as Irondequoit. The Pew Institute recently released a study that said a majority of American school children still go to the public library to do schoolwork. And for many of those students, particularly in poor, rural, and urban settings, it's the only link to the internet in the outside world, which is pretty important when you consider that over 75% of K through 12 teachers are assigning internet-required homework. For many families, libraries still provide valuable reading resources for their children. Preschool story and learning programs, libraries often expose children to books and activities that they would not otherwise encounter. Libraries offer resources for people of all ages to learn about anything and everything they have an interest in. Libraries are for those seeking information for information's sake, or as my friend Ted O'Brien points out, for those who are looking for better economic opportunities. Libraries are books which offer in-depth access to knowledge that you wouldn't get necessarily on a one-page website, real books, you know, with in-depth knowledge. But there are also access points for internet access and resources. They're newspapers, they're periodicals. Libraries are all of these things and remain an essential part of modern life in America. As a young child, the public library for me was a very magical place, a place that helped fuel my appetite for knowledge and for learning, a place to dream about the future and its endless possibilities. To this day, I consider myself an avid reader. I usually read about 5 books at one time. Sometimes I forget which book is which, but it's given me a great appreciation for the role public libraries play in our communities. And I think, you know, I've lived in this town for half a century now. It's hard for me to say that, half a century now. And I raised my children here. And I think my wife, Mary Beth, and I raised our 3 children here. And I'm sure Joseph and his 2 siblings remember fondly their trips to the public library as children. And I think as parents and grandparents, we recognize that there's nothing more exciting than planting the seed of knowledge and the thirst for information and the desire for reading in our children. So I look forward to the day in the not-too-distant future when I can take my granddaughter Arabella to the Irondequoit Public Library. So I'm grateful for Adam and to Mary Joyce for their leadership, the town board, John, as I mentioned, for all the advocates and residents who have come together in support of this important community project. And I think we all look forward to the day in the very near future where we cut the ribbon on the place where our children will dream of the future and the place that will help those dreams come true, our new public library. Thank you. Godspeed.
All right, so thank you all again for being here today on this very important occasion. I'm going to let you know what we're going to do next is for those officials and supporters of the library who had hard hats when they came in, we're going to welcome you outside to grab a shovel and participate in that and breaking ground. I can't tell, but it doesn't look like it's raining outside anymore, so it might be, is it raining? It'll rain as soon as we get out there. So hopefully I'll say, and then I would welcome, I'd welcome and encourage everyone who can come out. It is a little chilly out, but anybody who could come out and join us to participate as well, that'd be great. Thank you again very much for being here.
On the count of 3, to a new future for the town of Irondequoit. 3, 2, 1.